situation, a crisis situation. We were in fact zeroed out or severely cut in the first go around on the budget. And I'm listening today, and we are all very smart people, and we all work for very important programs, and yet we're writing letters and we're doing what we should, and we're still not a force to be reckoned with. For goodness sakes, we are putting people back to work. We are increasing the tax rolls. Is there a more important role in a recession or a depression? Is there?
No.
Well, why are we crying? Where's the rally cry? Why don't we have the business voice at the table loud and clear? Why don't we have our community's voice at the table, in commercials, in PSAs? At some point, we have to ask ourselves, we have to move from our discomfort with doing some of those things to say, what we do is so damn important that it must be reckoned with. Stop playing games with people's lives. Because every time they monkey with your program, or my program, or that program, or that program, we're back to this, now what the hell do we do? And we have to refigure out what Congress is trying to say to make it work, which is where we spend most of our time, is it not? How many of you have read the law and worked under more than once? Had to ask the state if their interpretation was actually correct. So what we do is we take the insanity from Congress and make it rubber meets the road for the individual. And coming through a depression or recession the first time around, there are all kinds of make-work projects, things to help people get reattached to the workforce. And here we are in the system, whether it's ex-offenders, whether it's for older worker, and I know we're talking about collaboration, but I need to tell you the truth. One of the things that struck me when the Disability Program Navigator Challenge came around, I would be the first to tell you that in Michigan, the Michigan rehab folks do a great job. So I have JAWS and all the equipment, and I have no one ever using it. Because Michigan Rehab Services does a great job with their population. Ticket to work, whatever.
Voc Rehab?
Voc Rehab. So we're not really a redundant system. I think I heard that today. So I think the challenge for NADA is, why are we allowing Congress, states, and everyone else to determine our future? If we are the voice of the profession, then we need to be that voice. We need to rally the troops, not just the Congress, but I recognize how very important that is. And I will be the first to say over and over again, Bridget and either Hannah or Lynn have done a phenomenal job. And I've been on this board a long time, and I still have some energy left. And I'm like, why are we having this conversation again? I'm tired of this conversation. Because now we're talking about layoffs, and now the workforce development professional is going to have to find a new job in a recession, when our job is to help put people back to work. So my challenge, I think, to the board is, gosh, what the heck do you do, and why don't you think it's important enough to not roll over and allow these things to happen? Not to minimize any of the efforts that have happened, but we need to invigorate them. It's either now or it's never. Once you get zeroed out of the budget, I think you become fearless. So I'm feeling kind of fearless. I'm like, we already had the zero, so we can only go up from zero. But in a recession, I mean, let me tell you a little story. I had a meeting with my system, the WIA, Employment Service Trade, Adult Dislocated Worker Group. That's my charge. But I get the whole system, and I work with all the pieces. One of my contractors told me that 4 people that have come into his system have committed suicide. There are reports coming out every single day about the effects on human behavior and psyche for long-term unemployment. So at this point, we have to say, Congress, I'm sorry, you're just not right anymore, or you're not left anymore. Let's look at the middle, or let's look at what's true. Let me use the word true. Let's look at what's true and focus on what's true. The truth is, this sustained downturn even though there's little glimmers, this sustained downturn is killing people. It's killing people. It's killing families. It's killing marriages. And people are committing suicide. I don't know how many of you are aware of customers in your system that have committed suicide. Or have you not asked the question? Pardon me?
We've had a major audit this year, 3 individuals, that's never happened.
Okay. Anybody else? Ask the question. Ask. Well, my contractor told me that he knew of 4. 4. Just one center, Livonia, Michigan, said he knew of 4 customers because of the stress and the strain that committed suicide. So this is the stakes. These are the stakes. This is our new reality. Do we need to change? We do. But my question is to change into what and how? Either be the force and the voice to be reckoned with, or to be rolled over again by Congress and people who don't know what we know. We know, and we're not telling our story well enough. And I feel very strongly about this. That I told Keith I didn't want to talk about what you all thought your role was or what I thought my role was, because that is our big picture. We can't get to collaboration. We really can't get to these other things until we educate people on the truth of what's happening out there in the world of unemployment and workforce. So I just want to kind of give you that thought, and I want you to ask your contractors how many people they know of have committed suicide. Ask the question. I was shocked. There was a report in the Employment and Training Reporter about 3 weeks ago. There was a study in there about long-term unemployment, and it was not good. The stress that it creates for individuals creates lasting negative impressions, and I think you're all probably aware that the longer you're unemployed, the less likely you are to be successful again. So this is a miracle. This is a serious thing, and this is where we can make the biggest difference. But we need to let someone understand that all these effects of this downturn are within our hands to be able to help change. And to me, that's the bigger picture. That's the urgent message. Not, oh, make sure you don't cut $1 billion from me. Why is that even on the table? And I believe it's on the table. Forget the parties for a minute, because we have not made our case. We've not made our case. And we need to make our case. And the other thing that is disturbing to me is I'm watching the zeroed out, and then we're talking this cut, and now we're looking at the end till July to end of September. We only get $200,000, and then we get $7 million after October 1st. I'm like, well, there's a way to run the program. It's important that we carry the right message and that we be the voice. I respect what NOB is doing with the National Skills Alliance Association, you know what I'm talking about, sending out all their alerts. Deeply appreciative to what Bridget and the office staff have done to help communicate those things. But I'm asking each of you as a body, we're missing the message. We're talking about how we're going to downsize. We should be asking for more money, because we are demonstrating to the Congress each and every day, and to our communities and to our business partners, the true consequence of being in this level of a depression recession, and the true human cost to the people in our communities. So I just wanted to put that out there, because NOB's done a lot, we've done a lot, everybody's doing a lot, writing letters, but I still see a leadership void. Because the data suggests one thing: people dying, people having severe stress problems, interfering with everyone going back to work, families breaking up, and we're talking about a lot here and there. Wrong conversation. Better question is, how come you're not funding us at 3 times the amount we have now, because this is our value to the country? And we've not made that statement. So there's a leadership void. That next step. We're doing what we've always done at various levels. Time to do something new. Time to elevate the conversation to where the rubber meets the road, and that's in your community and in mine. And that's preventing people from suicide. That's looking at the system as a job-getting accelerator to help people reattach to work or services or be referred out for barrier removal regardless of program, so that we can continue to impact our communities in a positive way. That's who I am as a workforce development professional. And I believe that that's who you are as a workforce development professional. And I'd like us to sort of find a way to get that voice way out into the universe.